Okay, guys and gals, about 10 seconds of the obligatory disclaimer. If you want to read the whole thing, just pause the video. Okay, members only, let's take a look at sweet crude oil. This is the January 2022 contracts, looking at the daily chart for December 8th, I believe, because the new session has already started. Yep. So we can ignore that little red candlestick right there because that's the new session. Okay, you can also trade /MCL for those that don't know. That is the E-micro. Very nice product for small accounts. Okay, let's take a look and see what's going on here today. Well, decent green day. As a matter of fact, last 3 days have been pretty strong for crude oil. Looks like it wants to come up. Talked about this yesterday, and today, sure enough, followed through. It was down a little bit, but finished pretty strong for the day. What was the range here? The range, a little over 2 points. Very nice. Now we're back up here as a new session has just started. That's that little red one right there. We're at 72.42, 43. Kind of bouncing around there a little bit. Okay. To me, guys, crude oil looks strong on the daily. You know, there might be a little and then so we'll just see what happens here with crude oil. Does it really cross over on the MACD and get some legs underneath it and take off? But just on the daily, it looks pretty strong. Let's look at these daily cycles. Make sure I got this figured out here. Okay. Next cycle low would be January 5th, so that'd be over here. Okay. Ignore the red ones. We're just looking at the green ones. Just looking at these green arcs, these green cycles. So January 5th. So crude oil, like I said the other day, hit its cycle low a few days early, but no big deal. Okay, we can make use of cycle lows within a few days. That's great. That's good stuff. So normally, as you come out of cycle lows, things get strong. Well, sure enough, it's gotten strong. Now we'll see. Does this turn into what we call a left-hand translation, which simply means, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, for those that don't know much about cycle analysis, we'll just briefly talk about it here. Okay, middle of the cycle is right here. Okay, which is about December 22nd. So left-hand translation would be the prices are coming up like they are now, but they kind of stall on the left side of this line, and they start coming down. Okay, the arc has nothing to do with price, guys. Don't worry about this arc. This is just an element of time. Don't think about this distance between here and the top of the arc having anything to do with price. Got nothing to do with price. It's just an element of time. Okay, so we'll see what this does. If it weakens and starts coming down left of the middle of the cycle, ooh, that would be kind of a little bit of weakness normally. But so far, crude oil's been strong. Let's switch over to the monthly. Okay. November got beat up bad. December so far, yeah, it's a strong month. We're above the 50 month. Okay. MACD's trying to stay positive. Right now it's kind of looking like it's going to flatten out. Maybe we'll see what it does. On the monthly, the Big Daddy's saying things are going to go up, trying to go up. So still a little bit of a mixed signal on the monthly, which makes sense because we just got this huge red candlestick in November. Okay, but monthly, it's a mixed signal. It's actually a little, the candlestick is strong, but the indicators are more weak than strong. You follow me? There's some weakness here on the monthly for crude oil. But I think that's going to change. Okay, and the weekly chart, huge, well, fairly huge candlestick. 6.31 range for the week, nice. MACD still shows a lot of potential for weakness. Short-term indicators are looking like they want to go up. So, is it just going to be like comes up part of the way over the next few weeks and then gives it up and starts following the MACD down again? Because that would be common. That would be typical. So I could see maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever it is, upside, and then more weakness coming in. Okay, let's look at the hourly. Not a sign of strength here. It's a rising 50, which is nice, but the distance from the 50 is getting smaller and smaller. I talk about this all the time. Okay. Small little area here and here under, between the bottom of the candlesticks and the 50. Then a huge area. Huge. Right? Massive. Look at that big geometrical shape. Right? So we're going to have to see what this does on the hourly. Does it come down and touch this 50? Okay. Right now this looks a little bit weak in here. Okay, but it hasn't touched the 50, so for the moment it's still strong. Okay. Little sign of weakness, some mixed signals going there. Very flat, not much to read on the MACD. Big Daddy wants to go up, SMI wants to go down. Makes sense to me, right in the 50. Okay. Overall today, see, even today was mixed. Flat half the night, comes down, touches it at 5 a.m. Okay. Then mixed. I mean, overall it was an update, but boy, that was a tricky to trade. Not easy to trade all that. Right? A lot of mixed and chop. Same thing we're seeing in a lot of futures products right now, guys. A lot of chop going on. Okay, so if you're going to trade this time, if we stay choppy, you're going to have to, if you want to make money, you have to think a little bit more long-term and swing trade-ish. Okay, it'll be difficult to trade really short time frames. It won't be as easy if things are choppy. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but if they start doing that, you have to think about having vision enough to see, well, what's going to happen more long-term. Okay, and we'll get into that if we start detecting a lot of choppiness like this. But for right now, crude oil still looks, strong enough on the long side because it's above the 50. Okay, let's look at the 5-minute. So that right there, which was 10:20 a.m. my time, that's tradable. As soon as that candlestick right there, guys, got above that candlestick or even that one, that whole candlestick was tradable for that 5 minutes. And so was the next one. See, that's what I'm talking about. You have to have like a different way you view things if it's going to be choppy. This was definitely tradable. Again, same thing happened like back over here. As soon as it got above the upper wick, you could trade it, and the next candlestick too, because we're above the 50 on the 5-minute chart, right? I wouldn't touch any of this. You could if you're aggressive. I'm not saying it's not tradable. It is. You could probably look at the 1-minute chart there if you really wanted to, and you would have been able to trade this. Okay. And then back over here, I got the bounce. Yeah, I would have traded that. Would have been probably stop me out, wait, then boom, trade that one as soon as it got above that upper wick. You get all this candlestick to trade. Okay. And even though this is kind of small stuff, you could trade that one and that one right there. You could trade that one and that one right there. Okay, so those are things you gotta, But this is the nighttime session. This was the end of the day, so not a lot going on. This is just the beginning of the nighttime session, the new day. Okay, obviously you're not gonna trade any of this. Just forget it. Okay, so those will be the kind of opportunities you're looking for, guys. You gotta change your strategy a little bit if the market's gonna change, right? So again, on the 5-minute chart or the hourly chart, especially looking at the 5-minute right now, you trade this green candlestick once it got above that wick. You trade it. You take advantage of that. That might just be 2 or 3 minutes, because remember, this 5-minute chart. So you got to be a little bit on your toes. And the next candlestick, the whole entire candlestick, guys, was basically up. It had a little tiny lower wick, and the rest was up. So you got to take advantage of that whole thing. Okay? 16-cent range. So you would have got half of this one, okay, which is about 20 cents, 22. Most of that would say about almost 15 cents, 22, 32, 37 cents worth of range. That's not bad. And you would have done the same thing here and here, which is probably almost the same thing. So think about it. You would probably have had 70 cents worth of range between these two candlesticks and these two. Okay? Go do your math. What is 70 cents in crude oil? That's some decent money for the day. Even if it's just a few $100. Okay, whatever it is, however contracts. Remember, you can trade the MCL. Okay, let's move on to the next product. We're going to look at gold. Okay, let me switch over to the daily. Okay. And remember, you can trade MGC. E Micro Gold. Really nice. Okay. So today Today. Oh my goodness, is this really a daily candlestick? Okay. Not much going on there. What I will say is we're below the 50. It's still a little bit weak. And Big Daddy says we're going down. Wow, look at that. Big Daddy telling the business. We'll see if that holds up. SMI is the MACD and Big Daddy stay down. The SMI is showing up. That's typical of choppy markets, which is exactly what we're kind of seeing that here, right? The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of just choppiness. Look at that. Crazy Chopsville. End of year doesn't surprise me at all. Okay, but we are below the 50. So short side trading. That's the way I see it. That's my general rule, especially in choppy markets. Just trade one side, short side if you're going to trade gold. Okay, let's take a look at the monthly. All right, what's going on with the monthly? Man, the monthly and the daily look almost the same. They just look choppy. This is weakness. Gold's got weakness going on, guys. And this is obviously something we'll have to pay attention to over time, but there's a triangle trying to be formed there. It's trying, but there's not enough to go on yet. Okay, that's what we got going on. So what would I expect to happen here in gold? Just, it's too early to say for sure. Well, it came down, touched the bottom, pretty much came up, touched the top right there. So it'll be like that. Okay, it's come down pretty quick and touched it right there, back up. Oh my gosh, it's a tight triangle. Okay, so I would expect this thing to break to the downside. Okay, so I don't know. Is it going to do that? That'd be out here somewhere like in February, March. Break to the downside, somewhere over here. Okay, keep that in mind. Weekly. Okay, weakness in the weekly, that's all there is to it. It's as simple as that. It's weak. It's below the 50. Barely, but it's below it. These indicators show weakness. That's pretty flat. That's as simple as it gets in weekly. There's nothing really to talk about. It's short side trading. Let's look at the hourly. Okay. So this is the new session started right there. So just ignore these candlesticks for now. So the session that just ended started over there last night, and this is the whole session right there. Okay. I mean, guys, on the hourly chart, there was opportunity in gold. I talked about this. I said this yesterday. I said I thought gold was a good product to trade. Instinctively when I'm looking at things, sometimes I just pick things out, and I just said it. Gold looks like an opportunity. Bango, man. Look at that. That second hour going into yesterday was the time to trade. That's period. That is it. And then you got the next hour, and oh my gosh, that was big money, guys. I hope somebody took advantage of that. Look at those 4 hours. They went from 1785 to about 1792. Yeah, 1791 we'll call it. Okay? So guys, that's 6 points. And choppy markets, that's like gravy. Okay? Admittedly, this is kind of hard to trade. But on the 5-minute chart, there's probably opportunity in there. You just got to pick it out. Okay? Now, I don't like trading long when everything else says go short. But if you're going to trade the hourly, okay, then trade it. In this case, because the longer time cycles show that gold is weak, I'm definitely trading that candlestick right there. That's just a continuation. That is easy peasy, 1, 2, 3 easy. Those 3 candlesticks were easy money, guys. And it looked like it was about, 87 down to about 82, another 5 points. So guess what? You picked up 6 there, maybe 5, 4 if you're late to the game, and another 3, 4, 5 right there. I mean, guys, that's almost 10 points of the trading. I know you got to be up, and that's a long time to be up and trade, but still, there's opportunity there. Okay, end of the day, not a whole lot going on there. I wouldn't touch it. Okay, let's look at the 5-minute, and we'll move on. Okay, wow, that's definitely right there. You're in. And as soon as this baby gets red, about a third of the way down, you just close and get out. Stop loss and you're done. Okay, this one, you're back in. Remember, I don't like trading long because all the longer time frames say short. But if you're going to trade an hourly and a 5-minute, then okay, trade it. So that's tradable right there. That you're in. Oh my goodness, opportunity. Okay, you probably took advantage of that one. Then when it started pulling back on you, you have your stop loss somewhere in there, right, just below the body of the top of that one, and you just stop out. Comes down, next one. Oh my gosh, trade it. You're in. Okay, unfortunately that one would have stopped you out. Okay, that's a little bit tricky. Okay, and you would have traded at least a part of that one. I talk about this all the time, guys. Second candlesticks are they're just easy to trade. Look at this one. Okay. That one, if you were sketchy, wait, you definitely traded that one. And what did you get out of that? Well, you got 0.4 out of it. Okay, even if you get, guys, I understand, even if you took small positions on MGC, you're just picking up a little bit of profits along the way. That's all you're doing. You're just picking up profits. You're picking up 75, 100 bucks here, another 75, 100 bucks there. By the time you're done trading all this, you've picked up $300, $400 on small trading. Now I ask you, if you made $300 or $400 every day, I know we got euro dollars and we got different currencies going on, different traders from around the world, but you could do your currency exchange and figure it out. If you made $300 a day, $400 a day, what is that? Okay, it's simple math. That's $1,500 to $2,000 a week. Is that good enough? I mean, think about it. That's a week. Okay? Even if you made $1,000 a week, guys, even if you just made $1,000, which would be $200 a day, just think about it for a second. If all you did is make $200 a day, that's $1,000 a week. That's $50,000 a year. Can you live on that? Most people can. I'm not saying you're going to be wealthy, but you can live on it. And you could probably even put a little bit away in some corporate bonds to build up your base assets and your fixed income stuff, right? Okay, let's move on to the next product. All right, so anyway, my thoughts on gold is it still looks tradable to me. And I would favor short side trading. Okay, you just saw everything I went through. I kind of talked out loud how I would trade it. You can use that. Gold's been so tradable more times than not most days. Yesterday it caught me out a little bit, but most days it's tradable. Okay, let's move on to natural gas. Let's look at the daily. Okay. That's not healthy. That's not very, that's not something that gives you a lot of confidence. 3 little candlesticks making up this one red candlestick, basically. That's not very confident building, but it is slowly trying to make its way up. But guys, there's a gap here, hasn't even filled it yet. This still looks weak. The short-term indicators are showing strength, but man, oh man, it's just not looking good. 1216 is the daily cycle for those that want to know. That would be the daily low. And guys, this thing just absolutely tanked right smack dab in the middle of that cycle. Very common to see prices stall or even prices decline sometimes in the middle of a cycle. Look back here, it happened right here. It wasn't as big as the event we got going on now, but look at it. It stalled right down into it. And that's exactly what happened here. It stalled and crashed. I think we're going to get this and boom again. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay? Now, I'll thank my mentor for that one, Steve Miller. I thank my mentor for that. He taught me so much psychoanalysis. That man is the Renaissance man when it comes to psychoanalysis. People don't give him enough credit. That guy is. He taught me this, and this right here looks like weakness to me, guys, and looks like there's a good chance it's going to come back down into this 2nd or third week of December, as more closer to the third week, right? That exact date is like around 12/17. But remember, psychoanalysis, guys, you got to give it a little breathing room on each side, right? So I think that's a good probability that's what's going to happen to natural gas. Okay, let's move on to the monthly. What can you say? What can you say? The divergence on the Big Daddy was so doggone spot on. Look at that red dot right there. Came on that. Oh my goodness. I talked about that, I think, a couple months ago. I specifically said natural gas looked like it was weak. Still looks weak here. Just looks weak. Okay, weekly. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Not good. Well, you know, again, I don't even like talking like that. It's a good sign. Opportunity to the short side. It's barely holding water. That's its neck and its head above the water. That's all we got going on there on the weekly. Natural gas looks like it wants to break below it. And based on what we said in the daily chart for the daily cycle, would not be surprised for it to break below this 50. We'll see. This is not a sign of strength. Okay. These indicators, they could pop, but they have no indication right now. They're not doing that. Right? We don't see any of this going on. Not yet. So natural gas on the weekly chart looks very opportunistic to the downside. Okay, let's look at the hourly. Okay. A little bit of strength going on here on the hourly chart, trying to make its way back up to this amazingly steep 50. Look at that 50 just going that way. I don't think this, well, you know, short term, there's weakness in these indicators. The MACD is trying to tell us on the hourly there's more upside to come. We'll have to wait to see how that goes. For now, anything that even approaches this 50, if you get some kind of rejection, let's see, I don't know, whatever, I'm just going to pick this over here. If it does one of those, that second candlestick right in there and there, I'm trading it. Any kind of drop below the 50 red. Right now, we're pretty far away from the hourly, so it's kind of hard to trade. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the 4-hour, guys. I'm really sorry. I clicked on the wrong thing. My bad. Okay, this is better. My bad. Let's start a rant cut. Okay, it's above the 50. Barely. This whole day was not tradable. Could not trade natural gas today. Not realistically. There might have been a few moments in there on the 5-minute chart, but guys, I don't think natural gas is tradable right now long. No way. If it gets some legs and starts pulling away from the hourly, okay, then we'll talk about something. But for right now, I just don't see it tradable. I mean, this is just Ugliesville. And I don't mean even you can't trade long or short. I just don't think it's tradable. Yeah, no, I'm not trading that day. Are you trading that? That's a 5-minute chart. There's nothing to trade here. Barely. So forget about it. We'll reevaluate natural gas tomorrow because it's not tradable right now. Okay. I don't mean to laugh. I'm just, you know, it's not a tradable product at the moment. Okay. Let's look at wheat. And remember, on natural gas, guys, I didn't mention if you can trade that QG. Okay. And for wheat, since we're looking at wheat, and you all know what I'm going to say, I like to trade XW. Oh, it's such a great product to trade. Super inexpensive. Okay, what's going on with wheat? Let's go over to the daily. Weakness. All kinds of weakness. And it would not surprise me. It's so far, and I've been saying this since, wait till we get to oats. Oh, oats. Oh. Wheat to some extent too. Defying gravity. Though we've had really good price decline, wheat has been more susceptible to decline. Okay. And it is staying above the 50, and there is that buffer zone. It's just maintaining that little buffer zone. But man, guys and gals, unless we get something like this, I think wheat could bust through the 50-day. And if it busts through the 50-day, that's a big change. I don't mean some little breakthrough for a few days like that and one little day there. I mean if it does something like this. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on it. The daily looks weak to me. It looks like it's trying to tell us something that there's more downside coming. Okay, we're finally getting some mixed signals here on wheat. We're finally getting something. Oh, look at this. Well, okay. Okay, we can't say anything about that. I said this yesterday. We still have divergence warning for December, but December has just started, so we really can't rely on this because the month is really, you know, we're still just in like the first week and a half of the month. But this candlestick for wheat, guys, on the monthly looks really not a strong candlestick. That's very, you know, if it wasn't for this upper wick right here, I'd say we're looking at kind of an evening star. Okay, that's a doji for sure right there, that last candlestick. Okay, so MACD long-term says going to the moon. Short-term indicators, they're saying otherwise, so we'll keep an eye on that. We haven't had a red candlestick in forever here. Look at this. Okay. All right, let's look at the weekly. Okay. Definitely some weakness. Overall, wheat looks like there's weakness. This hasn't really turned over completely yet, but the daily shows weakness. The weekly shows weakness. I think all that is short side trading opportunities, though we are above the 50. And so I'd be cautious, but my instincts tell me short side opportunities. Okay, let's look at the hourly and we'll move on to oats. Yeah, if I didn't trade this today because I was trading oats, but if I did, I would have traded that. Huge. And to be honest with you, I would have traded that one. And I probably wouldn't have stopped out either. I just would have been sitting there impatiently waiting because it pretty much didn't give me reason to stop out during these 3 candlesticks. Would have kind of sucked to sit there for 3 hours, but I would have waited anyway. And then this one would have been a payoff. 7 points in range. Oh my goodness. You stop out, you enter back in, and why? See, in this case, you don't have to wait for a second candlestick. Why? Because the MACD is telling you it's good to go. Good to go. Good to go. So good to go. Oh my gosh. You stopped out on this one, and as soon as you got the third of the way down red, you don't got to wait for a second candlestick in these scenarios. Just go get them. You're good to go. Look at that right there. Look at that MACD. On that candlestick right there, look at that MACD. All kinds of gap. Okay, nice, tradable. You guys some of you guys and gals need to be paying attention to wheat, man. You're over there trying to scratch a living out of the indices, but you need to be looking at other products. Okay, if the indices are doing this nonsense, forget it. Don't be married to one product, man. Okay, take advantage of the opportunities. You pay attention to other products. If you don't have multiple screens, guys, if you can afford it, and you get a computer that can support multiple screens, okay, I know it's not cheap, but if you can afford it, do it. Or have a laptop showing you one product, and then a PC showing you another one, okay? Or a mobile device, okay? Or, a tablet, if you have a tablet, okay? It could be on the Wi-Fi, and you're looking on the tablet showing you wheat, and then, you know what I mean? Take advantage of your different devices, whatever you got to do, right? Okay, so I think wheat's tradable to the short side during these times. Take advantage of it. Okay, I'm not even going to look at that 5-minute chart. There's so much available here on the hourly chart. It's crazy. This product, like gold, as a matter of fact, I think wheat is as strong or stronger than gold to trade. Look at these opportunities. I mean, just look at them. Craziness. There's so many opportunities here to trade. It's crazy. Okay, lots of opportunities in wheat, guys. You just got to pay attention. Okay, we're going to move on to oats. Hello. What's going on? There we go. There we go. Okay, that's the hourly. Let's go look at the daily. Okay, I believe that's the new candlestick right there, yeah. So this was today, a little bit of a down day. And there was money in this little candlestick today, believe it or not. 18 range, guys. Almost all of it to the downside. Sure, at the end of the day, it made a bounce back. But just think about that. 18 and a quarter worth of range on that little candlestick. Oh yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay, my overall sense about oats, it's the same as wheat, but it's actually more green. It's got more green candlesticks sprinkled in there, but it's doing the same thing. It's just riding that 50, and a very steep 50, I might add. Okay. Still riding it. But I talked about this the last 2 days. Oats just defies gravity. My goodness, this dang thing defies gravity. Okay, short-term indicators are going up. Okay. But they're not, I mean, price action doesn't really support this strong indication, right? Just sideways, right? I'm just looking for some geometrical shape here. Give me a moment. I'm just trying to eyeball this. What am I witnessing here? Yeah. It's too early to tell, but I kind of see a stair step here. Maybe we get that. Okay, let's just see what happens here, guys. It's hard to pick out a geometrical shape here because we just got some weird choppy stuff going on. Okay. Not really a channel. Small triangle being developed here, but it's definitely not something that we can really draw up yet. Okay, let's move on to the monthly. Oats defying gravity. Man, oats is amazing. Defying gravity, guys. Look at this lunacy. Defying gravity. All I got to say is, on the monthly chart, oats look strong. I mean, that is, it's not, I don't know, shooting star-ish. But, okay. It's not really, but it has that kind of look to it. But it looks strong on the MACD, like, oh my gosh, we're going to the moon. But interestingly enough, we now have 2 months of divergence warnings on oats. Now, this month isn't over, so we got to be careful, but there's that dot right there, and there's the other one. And, yeah. Talked about this before. They're rare. That's a rare breed to see a divergence warning on oats. So, okay, moving on to the weekly. All right, I know I've been beating this horse dead on the weekly here. Oats on the weekly. Oh my gosh. Look at that. What the heck? When's it going to do it, fellas? Is it going to do it? Everything pointing like the bottom wants to drop out. Then we get this candlestick here that says, nah, we're going to mess with you. We're defying gravity. Look at this 50. They're all do the daily, the monthly, the weekly, all defying gravity. My goodness. That weekly chart with all these massive divergence warnings, the MACD starting to pinch. Okay, got to keep an eye on it. Still not ready. Still not ready to give it up. Let's go look at the hourly. I normally don't look at the hourly too much for oats because it's so thinly traded. Okay. Hourly says things look strong, and it is. New session just started. Pretty strong right there. Okay. Remember, guys and gals, opinion only. This is not financial advice. You all saw the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. If you're going to trade any of these products, including oats, especially oats, stop losses. Please, proper risk management. Wheat and oats, especially oats, but the grains, they will have massive price swings. And if you don't have a strong stomach, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so if you're going to take those positions on wheat, you can do the mini wheats, so you can kind of mitigate those big price moves. Oats doesn't have, there's no such thing as E-mini oats. Okay, you can only trade the big contracts. So if you're going to take an oats contract, just, maybe just take one contract. Okay, but on the big picture, guys, I wouldn't trade oats yet. I just wouldn't trade it. It's not ready to trade short. But when it gets there, you'll know from me. I'll tell you. That's it for now, guys and gals. Hope you enjoyed it. I think gold looks pretty good for trading. I think wheat looks good for trading. They both look like opportunities. I think primarily to the short side, if I remember going through all the reviews. Okay, so take advantage of those opportunities, guys. It isn't always about the indexes. Okay, talk to you all real soon again next time.